Hi everyone and welcome to our webinar. We are glad you're able to join us today. In the next 30 minutes or so, Paige Elkins from our US team will be showing you how easy it is to view and generate real-time reports with our flagship product, Easy Reporter, and its web reporting features. Now, before I hand this presentation over to Paige, I'd like to flash some reminders. And by the way, we are joining this year's HR Innovations 2019 conference by SAP Insider. That's 3 fun days of learning about how you can maximize your existing SAP payroll investments by using the new technologies and functionalities built around it. And that's it. I will now hand you over to Paige.
Hi everyone, welcome and thanks for joining. So today I'm going to demonstrate for you our Easy Reporter web reporting interface so that you may become familiar with the functionality as well as understand the necessary steps for gaining access. If you already own Easy Reporter, executing it via the SAP GUI, today's webinar should provide the additional information you need to get started with the web version. And if you're not an existing SpinifeX customer, hopefully this will be enough to whet your appetite for a full Easy Reporter product demo. Now we're going to start off today with a bit of an overview to describe what you can expect to experience by utilizing the web reporter. As you can see here, the interface is an SAP Fiori tile-based system, and it allows organizations to structure the interface so that ESS, MSS, as well as HR and payroll department reporting can be easily accessed. Now, what else do you need to know to get the web reporter implemented? Well, once you license Easy Reporter with us, you have access to the web tool at no additional cost. There are just a few additional steps to go through, which we'll touch on today, starting with activating the service. I will then show you how to access the web reporting interface and then show you what is pre-delivered, already set up, ready for you to run. Of course, we will also take a look at actually running some reports as well as discuss the behind-the-scenes configuration options. Now, for those of you already using Easy Reporter and/or Easy Docs, you know how simple it is to install our software. Just apply the transports we send you, similar to how you would apply any SAP transport, and you are ready to go. To take the next step and activate the web reporting service, let me first note that this, of course, is going to require your SAP Basis resource. Who will be using transaction SICF to do so? Now, the precise details from that point are a bit beyond the scope of this webinar, but we have it all documented for you in our online portal. Now, once the service is activated, you then need to know how to access it. Well, it's simple. From your on-premise SAP payroll system or cloud-based Employee Central Payroll, you can simply use the transaction code /in/spin/er_web. And then also, as I mentioned in one of the earlier slides, the access can be integrated into your portal as a tile. Again, our online documentation provides guidance based on how your particular portal is set up. Now that you know how to get in, let's move on to what you're going to see. The delivered version of the software includes 4 tiles as illustrated here. We have ESS, where the reports included will execute for the logged in user's data. MSS, so that managers can pull data on their employees, with the system using the reporting relationships in SAP to determine the appropriate team members. A third tile for HR and payroll department members so that they can run their operational reports. And then last, there is a tile that will contain links to any report results that were executed in background mode. Once you click on a tile, you will drill further into the respective menu. For example, here's the detail underneath the ESS tile. As you can see, linked to the tile are a few SpinifeX pre-delivered reports already. Organizations, of course, may also adjust this menu to include other desired reports. Steps on doing so are provided in the online documentation, plus I'm going to give you a high-level view today. Now, a few more items to note when you are using the web reporting functionality are listed on this next slide. First off, you'll notice that the results screen looks similar to the ALV view utilized in the SAP GUI executions of Easy Reporter. And similar to the GUI version, users have the ability to run reports in test mode. Also similar is the fact that the additional selections tab is available in the web version. Now, I'm making special mention of this because in earlier releases of the web reporter that wasn't the case. So just in case you have some familiarity already, I wanted to make sure to update you on that. Another item that works similar to the GUI executions is conditional formatting of columns, like coloring it. And last, just a note that your report results can be saved for later viewing, printed immediately, or saved out into Excel or PDF files. And here I wanted to mention what I like to refer to as on-the-fly report changes. Basically, this means that after the user runs the report via the web interface, they can right then make a few adjustments to the view without having to edit the original report back in Easy Reporter. Now, I'll show you this in the system in just a little bit, but some things that can be done are renaming, rearranging fields, even removing them or adding new fields. Sorting and subtotaling adjustments can be made as well. So now that you've learned quite a bit about accessing the web reporter and the functionality to expect, I want to introduce you to some of the basic configuration that drives the tool. We won't go into too much detail, but just enough to provide some familiarity to make it easier when you refer to our online documentation and search for the specifics. Now, the configuration path is accessed from the Easy Reporter main screen, back in your SAP Payroll environment where you have Easy Reporter installed. You will follow the path of configuration, ESS MSS config, UI configuration, and that's going to bring you to a screen that looks like this. Now, there are two sub-tabs on this screen, and we're going to start today by taking a closer look at the Define Menu Items tab. So once you're in the Define Menu Items screen, you will see what looks like a tree structure, like I'm showing here on the left, which basically represents your web reporter tiles. Notice the parent tiles, like the four you see listed here, ESS, MSS, Payroll Administration, and Background Execution. And then embedded in those are report tiles, like the four you see listed here underneath Payroll Administration. If we were to drill into each of those at that level, we'd see the individual report links. And then if you double click on any of those items, parent tiles, and report links themselves, you'll be presented with a screen that allows you to configure some particulars. For example, for the report links, you can set options such as the selection criteria fields, or any variant you would like to be run as the initial default, whether the report is allowed to be executed in background mode, as well as whether the report results can be displayed as a graph. Also, that ability to make the on-the-fly changes I mentioned earlier is configured here as well on a report-by-report basis. Now, while in configuration mode, there's also the option to link SpinifeX user roles to tiles. Both parent tiles and report tiles include this user role assignment tab, allowing you to fine-tune access to the tiles and reports. Configuration extends down to the individual report field level as well, as any Easy Reporter field can be made available or not available for usage in web reporting. Now, for the most part, the fields from us are delivered as available, but if you have any custom fields in Easy Reporter, you may need to check out this step. Just simply follow the menu path Configuration, System Settings, Field Configuration. Then on the field configuration screen, double-click the desired data field, those would be listed here on the left, and make sure the box is clicked to enable web reporting. Now with that, we're ready to head into the system and run a few reports using the web reporter. So I'm going to navigate over here to my web reporter screen. And what you see are the 4 tiles that I mentioned before, the 4 parent tiles of employee self-service, manager self-service, payroll administration, and background execution. We're going to start by taking a look at employee self-service. So I'm going to click that tile. Notice it says that there's 10 reports available. I have the options here of employee payslip or some reports that are stored under the Easy Documents tile, actually documents, and then Easy Reporter. Right now, we're going to go into the Easy Reporter tile, and we're going to run this particular report, MD03, Employee Basic Pay Details from Infotype 8. That's one of the standard SpinifeX pre-delivered reports. When you're in the on-prem, the SAP GUI version running reports, you see that one in the menu there. It should look familiar to you. I'm going to click on it, and it's going to allow me now to see the results just on myself, the logged in user. I don't have to enter in my employee number. It automatically executes just for me. So you can see here, I have some results, and I'm going to use the little button here to go into full screen mode. And now I have a better view of the report. There's a scroll bar at the bottom, since I have quite a few columns from left to right. Notice that it executed for just one employee, which is whoever is logged in doing the execution. All right, let's go backwards a little bit here and try Easy Documents. So I'm going to click on the Easy Documents tile now. And what we've got out there is the statement of earnings for one example. We're going to run that. It does give me the abilities to select a particular period, which I'm going to go with the current year. I have a little button here that will allow me to get up to the execution icon. And again, it's going to automatically run just for me, the logged in user. This is an Easy Document output, so it does come out looking like if you've used Easy Documents, you know this PDF version, and I'm going to enter into full screen. Actually can expand, zoom in a little bit, and this should look like an Easy Documents output to you if you're used to using Easy Documents. Happens to be a letter that says certifies that, and then inserts my name, my address, my salary package, just certifying that this is my status as a current employee. So again, an example now of using an Easy Document linked into the web reporter tile. All right, we're going to back up. So both of those were through the employee self-service tile. Let's look at a manager self-service. So we'll go in here. Again, we'll pick Easy Reporter, and I thought perhaps we would run a headcount report. So you can see we have 3 reports under the topic of employee data, 3 under leave, 5 for headcount, 3 for payroll. We're going to drill into headcount. And I thought we would look at HC02, which is a by age, gender, headcount report. Again, standard delivered by SpinifeX. I have the ability to decide what I want for my date range. Today is just fine. If I wanted to narrow down the employee selection, again, it's going to be within, the subset of those people who report up under me. But I'm just going to leave it at all employees, which means it's going to find anyone who rolls up underneath me in the organization. I can execute, and I should have headcount results here in just a moment. All right, so now I have some results. Again, I will expand into the full screen mode. Notice this report rolls up to the company, personal area, personal sub-area level. If I were to drill into the sub-area of Philadelphia, okay, and just like the SAP GUI version of our reports, you can do your on-screen drilling, expanding the rows. So here under company, personal area, personal sub-area, I have 5 people that report to me under those particular master data elements. So for them, I need to scroll down Get to my scroll bar. I'm going to go over to the right because these people are all over here in the age band of 56 to 65. So here you can see my counters. So 2 people that are male in that age band, 1 that is female, a total of 3. All right, so just an example of using the MSS tile to hold some reports your managers might want to run just on their particular reports. All right, let's back up again out of MSS. We're back to our main screen. How about your payroll and HR departmental employees who have access to the entire organization in terms of what they can report on, and they just need to run their organizational reports, their day-to-day job reporting. We've got some reports linked in here, 41 in total in the payroll administration, and then we'll go into, let's see, we'll stick with payroll, 12 reports. And here are those 12 reports. Notice this structure should look familiar to you. If you've been inside of Easy Reporter in the on-prem version, you go into our pre-delivered reports under payroll. These are the folders that you see, pre-exit, payroll verification. We're going to go into pre-exit. And I thought we would run the locked employees report. So this is your report that will run and say, you know, who has been locked in InfoType 3 so that they don't pick up in payroll. It's the same report that you have available to you inside of Easy Reporter, running it via the SAP GUI. Now we have it here on the web reporter. So I have, since I'm not doing ESS, which is predefined to only be on myself, or MSS on my people that roll up underneath me, I have more selection options here. Now I'm more like running Easy Reporter in general, where I need to enter in some selection options. So we're going to go with today. So I have for my period as of today, and then notice my employee selection, you know, where I can narrow it down by payroll area, company code, personal area, cost center, employee group, employment status, the typical selections you're used to seeing as an operational HR payroll department person. Let's go into a particular payroll area. So I'm going to search here for US. Here is my US payroll area. I'm going to select that. And so now I'm running the report as of today for the US payroll area. With those selections, I'm going to execute. So you can see I have some results here. Let me go into full screen mode. Got about a dozen people listed here. Same results I would have if I were in my on-premise SAP system running this particular Easy Reporter report. All right, so now I mentioned something else, and I'm going to exit full screen. When I was in my slides, I said, hey, you can make on-the-fly changes. This is a good report that we can use as an example of that. So if I want to make a few column changes to this report, come over here to my action button. I've got a little green button that says Configure Report. Let's click on that, and then let's talk about the changes that we can make. The first one I'm thinking I will do is this column for employee name. I'm going to hide it. I do want employee number, but I don't really care about the employee name. So I don't have to go into Easy Reporter in the on-premise environment and actually change the Easy Reporter report. I can change my view right here. So I'm going to go into Configure Columns, find the employee name column, which is right here, expand its details, and I have a checkbox where I can hide it. All right, so now I've hidden the employee name. Let's do something else. Let's add another field to this report, and I can do that through this Field Selector button over in the margin. I'm going to drill into my fields, and I'm going to add some manager information to this report. Looks very much like the path that you would follow inside of the on-premise SAP when you're working with Easy Reporter. I'm going to drill into master data, employee data. Then remember under employee data, there's a folder for manager detail. Let's expand that one. And let's add manager's name. I'm just going to pick it up and drag it. We'll put it right here before employment status. Okay, now let's give it a try. We can come up here and do a test run on our report. And remember the changes that we made, where we added the manager's name and we removed the employee's name. I'm going to go into full screen, make it a little easier to look at. And what do we have? Employee number. Employee name is no longer there. Manager's name, however, is on there. So just like I said, I could make a few on-the-fly changes. In addition to column changes like that, you have the ability to indicate whether you want a particular column subtotaled. If we're talking numbers, something numeric, you can say subtotaling on or off. That's another option that you have for making on-the-fly changes. So now that you've seen a few examples, let's return to the slideshow for just a few final observations. Starting with this thought, just how much of an impact can this have on your reporting needs? Let's talk about everyone who can benefit. For a payroll manager, web reporting provides the ability to check your payroll data both pre and post processing simply via a smartphone or other mobile device. You can even sign off on the payroll remotely. There's no limits on what data is reported. If you can create an Easy Reporter report for the data via the standard SAP GUI process, then you can make it available on the web. For those of you already familiar with Easy Reporter, you know this means HR master data, payroll results, payroll posting data, timesheet entries, org management reporting, and so forth. That extends the benefits from payroll managers to HR benefits and compensation managers as well, as the web reporter can pull in data from SuccessFactors Employee Central in addition to on-premise payroll or Employee Central payroll. And a huge bonus in efficiency is the ability to make single employee reports available on an ESS portal, allowing the employee to answer their own questions regarding their pay, benefits, time off, etc. This empowers the employees while freeing up the payroll and HR staff. And finally, those in the C-suite are going to see the true benefits of those efficiency gains, utilizing the easily accessible, real-time, proactive data provided by web reporting. They will be able to make better management decisions at a reduced cost to the organization. Now that does bring us to the conclusion of the webinar. I hope I have armed you with some useful information regarding the SpinifeX Web Reporter. Remember, as an Easy Reporter customer, you have access to the Web Reporter at no additional cost. So if you haven't explored implementing it yet, I urge you to take a second look. So thanks for joining the webinar today, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me directly. Thank you again.